Hi, thanks for listening in. Everyone that knows me knows I'm a huge fan of history and film, and being able to combine those two is a thrill for me. With that being said, it's my pleasure to introduce the history of Beverly Hills. Well, let's first talk about the name, Beverly Hills. When Burton Green decided to name this brand new city, he settled on Beverly Hills, which was named after Beverly Farms. It's an oceanside community in Beverly, Massachusetts. Now, the name Beverly itself comes from the town of Beverly in East Yorkshire, England, which was originally named Inderwuda in 700 AD. Sorry about the pronunciation. The townspeople changed it to Beaver Lake in the 10th century, which means Beaver Lake. Gaspar de Portola arrived in California, the LA area, August 3rd, 1769, traveling along native trails which followed present-day route of Wilshire Boulevard. The area was settled by California ranchera Maria Rita Quinteros de Valdez and her husband in 1828. They called their 4,500 acres of property that was granted to them Rancho Rodeo de las Aguas, or Ranch of the Gathering Waters. Her husband passed away, and Maria, with her many children, still worked the ranches. The ranch was subject to raids and skirmishes due to its location and use as a cattle ranch. The Tongva tribe was known to attack the ranch. They were the original inhabitants of the LA area. Now, these attacks were likely due to tensions arising from the expansion of European settlements and displacement of Native American population from their traditional land. It is said there was a shootout that Maria survived in a heavy drought that eventually forced her to sell. The land went through several owners before it changed hands to Burton Green and his partners. There he decided, as we touched base earlier, to name the brand new city he settled Beverly Hills. But originally, he had bought the property from all of his previous owners because he wanted to drill for oil. After several unsuccessful attempts at finding oil, he then changed his mind and said that they were going to build a community where anything, I believe, south of the track was going to be for the lower class members of society. Anything north of the track would be the elite, the wealthy, the rich. Now let's switch gears to a minute, talk about the film industry. Early 1900s, the film industry was starting to boom, mainly around New Jersey and the East Coast. A lot of filmmakers decided to move to Hollywood to escape the reach of Thomas Edison's motion picture patents company, which often sued filmmakers for patent infringement. And Hollywood was far enough away from New Jersey, where the company was based, that it was easier to avoid enforcement. Thomas Edison, actually, he had patents on a lot of different equipment, and he also had understanding with all the filmmakers that you were to use his equipment if you wanted to film. Now, if you weren't using his film and he was getting a cut of it, he would actually send mobsters to film locations and put them out of business, take out their machinery, whatever else, and make them to where they couldn't film. If you watch a lot of old black and white movies, you'll notice there's a lot of gangster movies, and one of that was because they would use extras as real life, enforcers or guards. A lot of the background extras, which you'd see running around, which are usually big dudes, they were also the ones that were sent. And this became a big thing. All these filmmakers were kind of going after each other, but it was also to protect from Thomas Edison. So, film industry, of course, they moved west and they started what is now Hollywood. So back to Burton Green. When Burton and his wife renamed the land Beverly Hills, and hired a landscape architect named Wilbur D. Cook, he was to design the city. The first streets were constructed in 1907. And then he ordered the building of the Beverly Hills Hotel, which was built in 1912. It became a popular destination for Hollywood celebrities. In 1919, Mary Pickford and Douglas Fairbanks built their very large mansion, and the media at the time called it Pickfair. Pickfair has actually gone through a lot of scrutiny over the last many years. Known actress, singer Pia Zadora and her husband bought the famed mansion many years ago, and they decided that they wanted to tear it down and rebuild it. So they pretty much leveled most of the property and rebuilt it. And when asked why, they said because the house was falling apart. I mean, it was 80, 90 years old. But one of the real reasons Pia Zadora stated was that she believed that the house was haunted. So they tore it down. They rebuilt a new mansion, which beautiful in appearance, but still it's not Pickfair. A lot of other great celebrities also built their homes there. Will Rogers and Rudolph Valentino built their grand estates there. I believe Rudolph Valentino's was called Falcon Lair. 1928 saw the opening of the Beverly Wilshire Apartment Hotel between El Camino and Rodeo Drive. It was actually built on part of the old Beverly Hills Speedway. Edward Doheny was a wealthy oil tycoon. He built Greystone Mansion as a wedding gift for his son, who was murdered shortly after moving in. And the Greystone Mansion, which I've actually talked about on another clip, was sold to the city of Beverly Hills, and the Beverly Hills actually rented out to the film commission. You've seen a lot of great movies filmed there. 1956, Paul Truesdale purchased the grounds of the Doheny Ranch and developed it into Trousdale Estate and convinced the city to annex it. This neighborhood has been the home to many greats like Elvis Presley, Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, Tony Curtis, Ray Charles, President Richard Nixon, and in later years, Jennifer Aniston and David Spade. You should excuse my animation here on those black and white photos. It was my first attempt. I was trying to make it look like the character was walking through the photos, and it was a first time for me, so it'll probably get better, hopefully. In 1961, Brett Heyman, the father of Rodeo Drive, opened Giorgio Beverly Hills, the street's first high-end boutique. In 1968, Aldo Gucci opened a store on Rodeo, followed by Van Cleef and Arpels. In 1969, Vidal Sassoon Salon opened in 1970. Polo followed in 1971. In 1976, Bijan Pakzad opened a showroom and touted his store as the most expensive in the world. The Rodeo Drive Committee was determined to make everyone in the world think of Rodeo Drive as the shopping street of the rich and famous, giving the street an international flavor as opposed to the local nature it had. By 1981, the high fashion strip took up 2.5 blocks with around 65 stores. I decided to, when I was coming up with this idea, that I would try to give kind of a historic look with some of the old grainy footage that I made using vehicles that I have acquired in the game. But I also wanted to make it more of a walking tour, kind of just walking around the city as GTA has done a really great job recreating Beverly Hills. But as I've said in other videos, the map is so compressed, so you're not really getting the full nature of Beverly Hills. But it's a pretty good idea.
I totally need that car.
The Walk of Style was founded in 2003 by the City of Beverly Hills and the Rodeo Drive Committee. Fred Heyman, the father of Rodeo Drive, was involved in conceptualizing and creating the idea of the Walk of Style. He himself was granted the honor in 2011. The walk features a statue called Torso by sculptor Robert Graham, which was unveiled at its founding ceremony, attended by Giorgio Armani, the first honoree. The sculpture was designed by Graham specifically for the Walk of Style. Like the more famous Hollywood Walk of Fame, the Walk of Style has bronze plaques set into the sidewalk for each person being honored. The plaques feature an idealized representation of Graham's sculpture. Each honoree is also awarded a miniature version of Graham's sculpture to mark the occasion. Hey you guys, thanks for playing along. I appreciate you all taking a few minutes to listen to this, and join me next time when I'm talking about God knows what. Anyhow, later.